2024 Professional Audio and Television, in close partnership with our friends from Lawo, embarked on a very special project with Entain in New Zealand. And this is how it started.
8 or 9 years ago we embarked on our project to replace ROBs, and we made a conscious decision to dive into the world of remote production. Very excitingly at the time, that meant we got to play around with a little bit of IP, and that led us to select Lawo as one of our major partners for the transmission equipment. That was fantastic at the time. The vRemote 4 enabled us to do routing, audio D and embedding, and transmit J2K across a lower bandwidth network, which was incredibly important to us in a country where high bandwidth networks weren't the norm at that point. So fast forward 7 or 8 years later, we've had a successful deployment of the remote production technologies, and we're looking to take that next step into a full IP workflow for our control room.
At PAT, we've had a long-standing relationship with Entain in New Zealand. They've always been a company of innovation, overcoming challenges. They were the first to go to air with remote production tools from Lawo. And this opportunity of a technology refresh enabled them to look at the market and see what's out there.
As part of that process, we evaluated several products and landed on .Edge for 2110 encapsulation, the home apps for audio and video app deployment on COTS hardware, and a series of other products including Arista and Meinberg for network and PTP timing. And the selection of those products was quite important to us for the flexibility and scalability of the system, size ranging from our smaller productions to larger productions, but also then the speed of deployment of those solutions changing day to day is incredible. So that helps us with new initiatives such as doing equine race meetings remotely, and potentially some other initiatives in the future.
During the concept, design and build phases of this project, it became very exciting for us. We realised that the audio and video processing applications under the Lawo Home Apps platform enabled what has become a dynamic media facility.
That kind of enticed us to have a look at some of our radio infrastructure to bring it into the 2110 world and look at how we can tightly integrate some of that transmission and even just sharing resources across the country. Our core sites being Auckland and Christchurch means there's some challenges, but also some advantages for us to wrap it all into one package. And having home for management of the apps and a lot of the infrastructure bundled with VSM makes that very easy for us to configure on the fly.
One of the benefits of software-based processing is as new features or broadcast tools are introduced into the ecosystem, it's easy for you to readily deploy those, to spin them up, to shut them down. Now this is especially helpful as brand new standards emerge, perhaps new formats or even codecs.
We had previously used a bunch of different codecs for transmission, so J2K for our video with some audio embedding, and then Ravenna for our uncompressed audio flows that were coming from the remote production vehicle. Compression for the video is extremely important to us because of the bandwidth restrictions that we were up against, and making a move to JSX was the natural move, I think, for us to leverage the low latency capabilities of the codec. The home apps was a good option for us given its support for JSX, but not only that, the flexibility that the license model of homes has for an operation like ours. So we can buy perpetual licenses that come in a bundle and use those across different days in different ways rather than having to permanently burn them into a piece of hardware or purchase something that is only on the road for, let's say, 2 or 3 days a week. We're getting 6 days a week efficiency out of those licenses and still achieving exactly the same flexibility that we had in the previous model.
There's many a broadcast technologist out there that would agree that one-off bespoke boxes no longer have a place inside our line rooms. The ability to scale up and scale down as required is of utmost importance, and Entain yet again became another first in our region down here in Oceania. They took the DSP processing power of the Lawo Home Apps ecosystem inside Dell COTS-based servers to power their MC² console. And some people might think, why?
Well, part of it really is just to be on the cutting edge. It was an exciting opportunity for us to get into the software-based COTS model, but also looking at what we might be able to do in the future by moving that license around and using console for other things at different sizes and scale meant that we were able to do that flexibly with the home licensing setup. So The advantage of the DSP app and the combination of 36XP surface was its integration as well into the PowerCore RP product to give us control of head amps remotely in those vans from the console that we're not only using for that Greyhound remote production, but we might be using for, you know, a studio show or something else down the line. So there's a huge amount of connectivity advantage there compared with our previous systems.
Technology's changed a lot over the last 7 years since we began this journey with Entain. From virtualization to audio and video over IP, cloud-based technologies with containerization. And these changes in technology are going to come with challenges from time to time, and that's okay. But we've got to put trust in our own people, in our proven technology partnerships, just like Entain have done with Lawo.
Well, look, the speed that we travelled at from planning to execution, some may describe as chaotic, but the benefit for us is that we're getting onto that new tech stack ASAP, and it gives us the opportunity to learn from it, to see how else we can use the technology, which I think has really helped our confidence, right, going into future projects with radio now close on the horizon for execution. So. Look, it is tough, right? I mean, any new solutions implementation is tough, but I think there is a level of hype around new kit. It excites the guys who are going to be using it going forwards, and I think, you know, especially for the nerds out there like us, it's a great experience to just dive in deep and get right into it.